The fire department section in a more than 150-page report describes issues with firefighter morale, financials, and recruiting practices. When I sat down and talked with Fire Chief Doug Schrage, he addressed if any of these issues would impact his department's ability to respond to incidents.
I don't expect any layoffs or reduction in services.
That's what Fire Chief Doug Schrage said in response to the challenges facing his department. Anchorage Fire employs more than 400 people, but some are dealing with morale and burnout issues, in part because calls for emergency medical services are increasing year over year.
The reason that EMS calls are going up is because more people are relying on emergency medical services for their primary care.
Schrage says the department will have to explore hiring more people and creating shorter shifts, as some on the mobile crisis team are finding difficulty working 24-hour shifts.
So some of our busier crews are the crews that are in the midtown part of the city. And so they're close to the hospitals.
The chief didn't say the department is dealing with low staffing issues, but it is facing challenges, hiring members who are reflective of the community.
The fire department is typically and traditionally a white male-dominated entity. We're trying to change that.
The U.S. Department of Justice gave notice of an investigation into the fire department's recruiting and hiring practices as they relate to certain underrepresented demographics. But the chief said progress is being made.
The last academy that we hired had the highest number of female firefighters graduate than ever before in the history of the fire department.
And so we're looking at some of those specific issues, as well as just that bigger picture of how do we ensure that we also have a culture of service where individual departments, have the resources they need to help the other departments.
Mayor Suzanne LaFrance addressing issues in the report, including vacancies in the finance department, which delayed the municipality's annual financial audit for 2022. This affected the fire department's SEMT reimbursements, a Medicaid reimbursement program through the state that funds ambulances. The department receives about $23 million annually.
It's not a significant problem, but it just adds to uncertainty.
The fire chief said his department is also focusing on efforts on how to reduce fire fatalities in Anchorage. Last year, there were 11, said the chief. That will be discussed more at 6. Steve Kirch, Alaska's News Source.